Well, I was born in Pensnett. I was born on the Dudley Fields. My dad always used to say, when I asked him where I was born in bed while my mother was at the pictures. That's Pensnett humour. Had a very happy childhood. There was a lot of poverty in Pensnett during just after the war. I was born in 1945. So rationing was still on, which was horrible. But I was never hungry. I was never cold. Pensnett is supposed to be a rough area, but I only know the kind people, the heart and soul of the Pensnett people. If you're a snitter, you're a snitter. If you come from Pensnett, if you come from God's Little Acre, and why they call it God's Little Acre, I don't know. But I'm proud. I'm proud to be from Pensnett.
I lived in Pensnett from birth. I was born at 6 Rowley Park, Bromley, which is just down the corner, and lived there for years, and then moved up to a shop in Pensnett on the High Oak, which used to be Herdman's years ago, and then my dad had it and it was called Barry's. This is my mum, 1959, when she was just leaving Pensnett school at age 15. This here is my great nan and granddad, Elizabeth Banks and Joseph Banks. They also lived at Rowley Park, but at number 58, and we were number 6. And then that's me at Rowley Park, age 4. I can always remember being on the green, which is on there at the front of that, with a little chair, and it was lovely, you know, whereas you probably wouldn't do that nowadays, just be sitting out there. I can't remember really, you know, I mean, it's all horses on it now. Well, I think there's still a lot of the nice, genuine people. You know, I think there's still a lot of nice people in Pensnett.
Pensnett people are the salt of the earth, and there is proper community cohesion. And if people can actually help you, they will in any way possible. I've moved out of the area, I've moved back in, because this is where my heart belongs. And hence I've been in this job now for 17 years. So I think that speaks for itself, where I am helping my community and also where I live. I also remember when I was little that you could leave your back door open and everybody would be called Mr. or Mrs. because that was utter respect. You couldn't call them by the first name because, oh my God, you'd have it round their ear. And if you ran out of sugar, you would actually shout, in our case, my mum, Mrs. Davis, you couldn't loan me a cup of sugar, could you? And I'll give it you back when I go up the shop. So she would. And it was things like that, 2 pieces of bread or whatever.
And I've lived in Pensnett nearly all my life with my family. It was nice, really nice. The neighbours were nice and different things. We all used to get together in one house and then another house another day, another house another day, another house another day. You could leave your back doors out. They are taking a really good pride in our estate. We have litter picks and different things like that to get the children involved.
To me, Pensnett folks are the salt of the earth. They really am. They'll help you out. And I know we got some rogues where everywhere's got them. Are you folks, they run Pensnett down. Come from Pensnett. Come from God's country, that's the word they use. Come from God's country. And I always say to them, where do you come from? Oh, we come from Kinswinford, or Hales Owen, or Stourbridge. I say, what's so special about that? What's so special about any of them places? You've still got your rogues wherever you live, just the same like we have in Pensnett. But Pensnett folks, I'm talking about what I've grew up with, and the real Pensnett folks, them and the ones. they'll help you out. They stick together. You know, they look after one another. They can be rogues, but they all stick together. And that's what I love about Pensnett, and how I have it run down. A lot of folks run Pensnett down, but it's a good place.
I've lived here all my life in Pensnett. I think it's a wonderful place. I come over here every day to mostly fishing and looking at the wildlife and the nature, and I think it's absolutely a superb place. I wouldn't like to live anywhere else.
Been in Pensnett since the year 2000. I was at Russell's Hall Estate. I had a barber's there on a 3-year lease. My lease was up. Majority of the customers I did came from Pensnett, and they asked if I could open a shop in Pensnett. Driving down past the chip shop here, we noticed it was an empty building. Got in touch with the landlord, and that's how it all started. And we took out a 3-year lease. We've ended up being here since 2000, so it's 13 years I've been here. People in Pensnett are absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic, friendly. We have a lot of people come from all over the country moving into Pensnett, and they all agree Pensnett people are the best you'll ever get.
Been a baker all my life, grew up on a flour sack, basically. Was born on a flour sack. Went to college in '77. I knew a lot more before that, because obviously my father and my grandfather being in the trade as well, learnt a hell of a lot before I even went to college. Dad retired about 3 years ago after being in the trade all his life. I took over. We used to have a couple of shops, but I mainly took out wholesale now. And it's one of a dying art, is bakery trade, especially in Pensnett, in the surrounding areas. Nobody does this sort of thing, especially in the Pensnett Brawley Hill area. The business has been established here since 1882 in Common Side, and it's been pretty much, apart from equipment wise, as it was when it was built in 1882. We try to keep things traditional because Pensnett people like tradition, and we get a lot of people coming from further afield, such as one of our customers comes all the way from mid Wales once every 6 to 8 weeks, all the way to sunny Pensnett to get his traditional bread. Our family have been in Pensnett more or less since the 1870s, 1860s, which, you know, everybody knows in Pensnett Potter's Bakery. Everybody knows where it is. If you soon know, if people don't know where Potter's is, they don't come from Pensnett or Brawley Hill.
People in this area have always been friendly, haven't they?
Oh, yes.
Yes, and my growing up years was mainly in Bromley, because that's where my parents spent a lot of their time. And the growing up years there, they were very, very good. Everybody friendly, always friendly.
My name is Sandra, and I'm a resident of Bowater Street in Pensnett. I've lived in Pensnett all my life, and I adore the area. We have places around here as people would die for. It's absolutely wonderful.
To me, Pensnett, I wouldn't live anywhere else. Got married 37 years ago, something like that. Lived out of the area for just 12 months. Says it all really, doesn't it? We came back. You know, Pensnett, it has something.
Yeah.